Hi guys, my name is Kaya. I don't know anything about linguistics. Mona here is going to explain to me her thesis to no,
My thesis is about linguistics.
her thesis is about linguistics, and she's going to teach she's going to teach me what the thesis was about.
Yeah. Okay, so the main topic is indefinite expressions, indefinite pronouns, which are words like anyone, someone, no one, anywhere. So these don't have a specific referent, right? If you say Kaya went to the store, referring to one specific Kaya, but if you say someone went to the store, anyone went to the store, very generally speaking, it's going to be an indefinite pronoun. Yeah, so there's a way to categorize indefinites according to their functions, which is very useful. And so the first distinction is going to be in specificity, whether they're specific or non-specific. And so you can take a sentence like everyone loves someone. Quick test, which one's the indefinite? There's just one.
Why wouldn't they both be indefinite? Because it's like everyone can be anyone. Wait, and someone can be.
No, that's a good point. Actually, it's actually like
no, because
kind of
everyone is about like everyone. So that's okay. I got you. So this one is the indefinite. So
that is the indefinite, but that's a
Gotcha.
good point as well. It's not actually like that clear cut. You know, people argue about these things.
No,
But yeah, in the for now, this is the indefinite, and so this can have two readings, and the specific one, I should write more blocky. You can read this someone as being specific, and then it says there is some person, maybe you know who it is, maybe you don't, but there's one certain person, and everyone loves that person. But you can also have a non-specific reading for the same indefinite, just to, yeah, it is context dependent, like you said. You can also read this as for everyone, there's someone else who they love. Like, you know, for every person at the party, every person has their significant other then they love. And then suddenly this turns from like referring to one specific person, and in this example, to like a kind of role where it's like it can have like multiple different preference. Okay, this will become a bit more clear with more examples, but this is one like distinction between whether it's specific or non-specific. And then when you have a specific one, you can kind of further you can further distinguish this into specific known and unknown. Because once again, right, if it's non-specific, it's like for every person, there's a different person that they love. But when specific, you're talking about a specific person, and in known, you're going to know who you're talking about simply. Like, everyone loves someone, namely everyone loves Mr. John.
Okay.
Recurring character. And unknown, it's going to be everyone loves someone, but I've never met that person, whatever, you know? Like, everyone loves someone, I don't know who it is, but it's someone, it's one person, right? So specific is like one referent, non-specific is like a role. So, someone called and also I need someone to help me. Yeah, so how are these two different? It was just the thing.
So someone called is like it's a specific, and this is a not specific.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
could
exactly.
be anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I need someone.
But it's not a known one.
This you don't know, because look, and this you can very quickly, easily show whether this is. But yeah, exactly. This is non-specific. This is specific. but you can like differentiate which one. Oh, this is actually like the upper. You can differentiate between specific known and unknown in this one by like doing like a follow-up thing. If you say someone called, you can follow it up with like I know who, you know? And then in a sentence like that, someone called I know who, then it's specific no.
No.
Yeah, specific no. But if you do like I don't know, it's unknown or specific unknown, right? So we end up with 3 of these big categories, and of course this is. Did I spray you?
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay.
Of course, this is more. There is like a lot more fine-grained differences, but this is like the. I hope this comes off my wall. It's kind of leaving this. That's cool.
That's cool. I don't see it.
Yeah, so you end up with like these 3 big categories. Specific known, specific unknown, and non-specific, right? And so far we were using the English someone. And the thing about someone is that we used it in all 3, right? All the examples we're using someone, and someone would because you can use this in all of these contexts, but this is not always the case for a lot of languages, and they will have indefinites that can only be used in like some of these scenarios, some of these contexts, and they're going to be different words for different scenarios. And the one that I am interested in, I wrote about in my thesis, is the epistemic indefinite, or EI. And EIs can only work in these 2 and not that one. And this is because, and there is somewhat of an epistemic indefinite in English. It's like, kind of is. And that would be saying something like, would be saying something like some woman called, right?
Oh, so then it's not a known.
Yeah, exactly, because, and you can check for this.
Sort of, but like no.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is not for the non-specific. This because non-specific ones, they get a little weird. They require like these special contexts where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. But it can also be used in non-specific. But yeah, but this is like this big difference. You can check whether this works with the test that I did before. If you like follow it up with some woman called guess who? That sounds a little weird, right? Like,
yeah.
Like if you say, oh, some woman called you, guess who it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds strange because, well, you wouldn't say that. However, you can say someone called, guess who it was, you know? So it seems that like this shows that the some, this whole thing, some women, cannot be used in this one word specific noun, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of generalized as that epistemic indefinites carry ignorance. You know, that you can only use them in contexts where the speaker who's using it doesn't know something about the referent of the indefinite, you know? And this can be different. Maybe they don't know what they look like, maybe they don't know what their name is, but there has to be some sort of ignorance. Yeah? Okay, and so this is the very basis.
Epistemic
Indefinites. That's right. Or EIs for short. And so, my thesis is basically 2 parts. And the first part, I have a claim that Polish, my mother tongue, has these, even though they're not like really documented in the literature. Like someone mentions them, but it's not really like well researched, not really talked about. But I was like, hey, this definitely looks like epistemic indefinites. And so that's like the claim that Polish has them, and namely it's the words jakiś, which means roughly means some kind of. So you would say like, yeah, you could say like jakaś kobieta dzwoniła would be like some woman called.
Some kind of woman called.
Yes. Yeah. And there's also another one with like, this one it's a little bit harder to explain like with the grammar, but it's like this part when you say, so I'm not gonna get into that because we don't have time for that, but there's these two words that I claim are epistemic indefinites. And then and then the first part of the thesis is just presenting data that like proves this, and it's like in different contexts. You go like, okay, so if you put like this word here, you can see just like with this kind of thing where, oh, this is ungrammatical, or like this sounds really weird, like you wouldn't use it here. And basically, yeah, by presenting like different contexts where you can use these words and where you cannot use these words, you can sort of prove, like give support to the claim that these should be called epistemic indefinites, because that's how they behave.
Okay.
Yeah. One more thing like that's worth, it's maybe kind of interesting to mention. I'm sorry. So sorry. Is an ignorance reading of EIs, which would be like say I ate some breakfast. And the thing is that here you can say maybe, oh, I was been in a big rush. I ate some breakfast and I left. But then someone can like ask you like, oh, what did you eat?
But then it's known.
Yeah, exactly what you said, Kaya. Then it's known. Cause yeah, say we just met up at noon, and I'm like, yeah, I ate some breakfast and then ran out of the house. Like, obviously I know what I ate, I don't have the memory of a goldfish. And yes, I can say, oh yeah, it was an egg and ham sandwich. So when I say some breakfast, I'm using an epistemic indefinite, even though it's a specific known context. So this is a different kind of reading, different kind of interpretation, and it's the indifference one. Where instead of saying, I don't know what the thing I'm using the indefinite for was, I'm saying, if it was some other thing, then it wouldn't have mattered. Basically, it's like, yeah, I put on some clothes and whatever. Yeah. So it causes like, it's like a little more problematic just for like the for analyzing these guys, and it gets it's just a different reading. It's interesting. So this is the first part of my thesis where I just kind of give all these different contexts for the Polish words, and I show, okay, look, it's exactly like it is in other languages. Basically, like you should call it an epistemic indefinite. And then the second part of my thesis is just logic, and we won't be able to talk about that because it's really technical and it's really complicated, and it's also really boring. Well, I think it's cool, but it's like, it's a bunch of math and symbols and stuff. I think it's really cool, but I definitely couldn't explain it to you in this little short video. But hey, maybe next time, maybe first I'll explain some logic to you in one day.
You never know.
You never know.
Maybe I'll get logical.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's basically it. But just to recapitulate.
Okay,
Just to recapitulate, yeah, there's these expressions in all kinds of languages. I don't know if it's in all languages. That's usually like a dangerous claim to make. It's a lot of them, but I don't know if it's all. Indefinite pronouns it's words like anyone, someone, anywhere that have an indefinite referent, and you can put them into different categories, and it's like useful to, because that's what you do when you do linguistics. You make up little like categories and see like, oh, this fits in this box and it fits in this box, and it like different languages like share this, and then these languages do it differently. That's how you like kind of look at this stuff when you do some science. And I did some science on these two Polish words. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for explaining epidemic indifference to me, Mona.